Diaz. Service sales as of today, $164,587. We have 21 days out of the 23 left. Right now we're 3% behind budget. Okay. We've got some trailers, and next week we have 5 enclosure trailers going out, so we have to make sure that we have all that ready to go. Okay, so that'll help pick up the budget. So last night, so if everyone's having problems with a lot of reports and stuff, last night the network was completely down. So we're having some issues getting everything back up and measurements and stuff like that. So please make sure you double check everything you have if you're looking into the system, and make sure that the parts are recorded if you're trying to get the customer information. So make sure that we double check everything we're doing in there, okay? Watlow's coming in tomorrow, so they'll be here tomorrow to talk about downtime on 43A and about some other stuff. So can we make sure that everything's ready to go and we're ready for them? And also Emerson or InSinkErator, will be here on 3/16 for an audit. So they'll be going through the plant. Okay. So obviously they're going to be looking at late deliveries. They're going to be looking at rejects. They're going to be looking at all that stuff, the stuff that we've been supplying them with, late deliveries and rejects. So we got to make sure we're ready for that. Okay. It was a great improvement we had in White, okay, because it was Tuesday. They came over and grabbed me and dragged me over to the Stack-On area. And if you get a chance to look up here, we know what kind of mess was around the baler all the way back through Stack-On, and we were running out of space. And Armando, Reina, and Teresa, and Guadalupe, I didn't have Guadalupe's picture, dragged me back to show me how they organized all of it. They pulled all out of the partials, organized everything, put the drawers in the right locations, straightened it all up, took off the top so you could stack them. They went and did that all on just Monday night on their own to try and make things better for themselves. So they got rid of the wasted motion of looking for things, the waiting time, waiting for the stuff to come up, right? Another huge waste. The transportation waste they got rid of. They were extremely proud, and they should be proud of what they did. Let's give them all a hand. They did a really nice job, right? So we want to keep going with that. So obviously it's making that area cleared out. So everyone else knows too, Israel's gonna, I explained to this area over here that we're clearing out. We're gonna be moving the raw parts over to this area so we can move the bolts underneath the crane bay. So if you're looking for the parts and the locations, we're gonna be moving that this weekend. We're gonna try and get that moved over so we can get underneath the crane, so the bolts that we'll be shipping over the next week and a half, okay? All right. So we were talking about the order process, right? How it was actually took 14 days when it was really only 2 days worth of information. So the order with the BOM was then taken to the scheduling department inside production operations to work into a master schedule. Because it became apparent immediately that the flow of the production through the plant would be very erratic, a separate order management department was created in sales to maintain liaison between the independent sales force and the plant on just where the machine was in production process to initiate expediting if the customer is getting restless. Information progress through the plant as necessary. The master schedule itself resided in the scheduling department inside of production operations in a form of a computerized material requirements planning system, which is an MRP system. The MRP melded the long-term forecast of orders with actual orders as they received to create a daily production schedule, assigning tasks to each department in the plant. Each morning, workers in each department, sawing, machining, welding, paint, sub-assemblies, final assembly, touch-up, and crating would pick up a printout with their tasks for the day. At the end of each day, each department would report its progress back to the computerized scheduling department. This system was fine in plan, but always a mess in practice because of the conflict between changing customer desires and the logic driving the production system. In order to gain scale economies, Pat Lancaster and his operations manager decided from the beginning that each department should do its work in batches. 10 frames welded for E model, then 20 frames welded for T, then 25 welded for V. This minimized the time Lantax machinery was idle during the changeover to a new part. In addition, running long batches was thought to improve operators' focus on the operation itself rather than changeovers. All right, so if you listen to it, if you listen back to that first part, it was they added a department just to firefight, just to answer the questions. We don't have to answer questions if we're on-time delivery and if we have made good product, right? There's not a whole lot of questions from the customer if we can actually change over, do our high mix, low volume, and quickly, and give them what they need. We don't have to answer those questions. All right, that's our goal to perfection.